There's something satisfying about using the right tool for the job, and the cuts that I made last time were not too satisfying. So I'm going to do things a little bit differently today. Today I'm going to be cutting the hull section that goes under the bow, and this is basically a straight line and a curve with a 30-inch radius. There's a little bit of a trickiness in here, but because it's such simple straight line and curve, I'm not going to try to do anything fancy with the projector. I'm just going to use tape measure and ruler, and I've rigged up a little pin on a rope here to do the curve. So this should hopefully make for some nice straight lines, and then when we get to the cutting part, I've got something else great going on. Now, what would really be a great tool for doing this straight line is a chalk line, and I have one, but it's in storage, so I'm going to still not be using the optimal tool, but we're going to go for it anyways. So I've marked here the point that is 30 inches from both this edge and this edge. And this is where I'm going to stick this rod. So far, not too happy with this. The rod here is actually wiggling around a whole lot. So I think instead of the rod, I'm going to switch to using tape, and that's going to fix another issue, which is that the pin came untied from the end, and it was a little bit tricky to get it tied on there. So this is just black gaffer's tape. So the pin at both edges here comes right to the edge, which is good. That's a good sign that I got it measured correctly. So all right, that's not too shabby. Depending on how much I twist this pin here, I can actually get a fair amount of play, so hopefully I had it perpendicular to the surface the whole time. So the next step is going to be to perform the cuts, but I need to do two things before I can do that. One, this is right on the ground, so I need to raise it off the ground so that the blade doesn't cut into the floor. And two, I need to wait for the blades to arrive. I ordered them with 1-day shipping and they're out for delivery, so they should be here any minute. The serrated edge that I used last time for cutting the foam was pretty unsatisfying. It took a lot of work. It tended to waver a lot while I was cutting, as well as deflect, and it left a whole bunch of dust all over the place. I had to spend an hour cleaning up and vacuuming everywhere, trying to get all the little dust particles. So this time, I'm going to try a jigsaw, which I borrowed from my friend at Madeline's Makery. And I have here the Bosch T113A3 blades, which is a knife edge for soft materials. So I'm hoping that this will go faster, straighter, and produce way less mess. But there's only one way to find out. So this is the edge that I just cut. Don't know how well that's going to show up, but this is a really nice smooth cut, aside from some places where I wandered a little with the blade. And that's actually a nicer edge than the factory edge, which looks like it was cut with the circular saw. So we got a really nice edge here. You see a little spot here? This is where I stop the blade. So every time, if I can do it all in one pass, it the result's a lot smoother result, but for this boat it's not really going to matter. But that was definitely faster, and there is pretty much no dust, a very dust-free operation as well, so I think this wins on all accounts. Less work, cleaner cuts, and less dust. Alright, so I just gotta do the same thing again, but mirror image. Cut out both halves of my hull, and the next step might be to fold them, except I need to do a little bit more. If I was trying to fold the hull as it is now, I could fold this way, which would kind of make like a sled, the water would come over the sides, or I could fold the sides up, but I can't really fold the sides and the front at the same time. It's just too much going on there. The solution to that is to cut out some material from the center here. Now that I've cut out some material from the center there, if I try to bring that together, we'll see I'm starting to get a little bit of some hull curvature here. So exactly how much material needs to be cut out in order to make these two parts line up properly, like the way I did it here. There's some holes here, not so great, so getting these exact curves is going to be a little bit of a challenge. I copied the curves from the original plans, but the original plans were working with really thin plywood. This is a lot thicker, so there's some issues there. But I have here the curve from the original plans. I simply printed it out on 3 pieces of paper, cut them up, glued them together, so this is a 1-to-1 scale of what the curve looked like in the original design. So I'm going to transfer this onto the phone, and that will give me sort of a rough idea of what the cut might want to look like. Since it's a lot easier to cut material off than it is to put it back on, I'm not actually going to make the cut like this initially. I'm going to have the guideline in there, but I'm going to be a little bit conservative and not cut quite so much off, give it some tries, and then figure out how much more I need to cut off to make it work. Well, that's all for this week. Next week there'll be a little bit of cutting, and then I'll start gluing the panels together to form the bottom of the hull. So until then, if you enjoyed this episode, please remember to like and subscribe.